claim they are proposing an alternative strategy to deal with the situation there. Withdrawal is not a strategy.
That was President Bush on Friday responding to comments by Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid that the Iraq war is lost. And we're back now with Britt, Mara, Bill, and Juan. Well, Senator Reid said it this week, the war is lost. The surge has accomplished nothing. The Secretaries of State and Defense know it, although he wasn't sure whether the president had come to this conclusion or not. Britt, what's the fallout politically? And when you look at the carnage this week, more than 500 people killed across the country of Iraq, is it possible that Harry Reid's right?
Well, of course it's possible, but he doesn't know that. I think he believes that. And that's what's interesting here is he said, in my view, what he thinks and what a great many other Democrats think. They think this whole thing is a misbegotten mission from the start and a lost cause, and they don't like to say, let's retreat and let's withdraw and let's leave the battlefield, but that's what they want to do. So they call it transitioning the mission, which is truly almost laughable. The president has a point when he says that withdrawal is not a strategy. It isn't. And the troubling thing now, it seems to me, politically possibly for the Democrats, is if you look at the carnage that's occurring now, these spectacular suicide bombings that are killing people in such large numbers, this is Al-Qaeda in Iraq at work. And if we were to leave now in the face of this, we would be, in effect, running away from Al-Qaeda. A very peculiar position for anybody to be in, it seems to me.
Mara, you heard Charles Schumer try to clean up what the senator said. It isn't what he said. He said the war is lost, not this war is lost.
He said that there's a different way to fight this war and that we should just be fighting Al-Qaeda but not be in the middle of a civil war. Now the problem is, and I think, look, I think that many Americans agree with the Democrats that this is a hopeless cause. But then that raises the question is, okay, what do you do next? If you want to be over there fighting Al-Qaeda but somehow not being in the middle of a civil war, what does that mean? How do you separate out Al-Qaeda from the same kind of Sunni insurgency that's trying to foment a civil war? I don't know. How many fewer troops would it take? People who are experts on this say it wouldn't take you couldn't really draw down the levels even if you wanted to change your stated goals to just fighting Al-Qaeda and not being involved in civil strife. I just think that the dirty little secret of this is that there are no good options in Iraq, and any Democrat who is president right now would be faced with the mess that Iraq is right now and not be able to just pull us out.
But you know, Bill, I mean, if you follow the idea of what Senator Reid said, the war is lost, doesn't it put Democrats in a position? How can you continue to fund a conflict in which American men and women are dying if you believe it's lost?
No, absolutely. I mean, I was looking at some letters from emails from soldiers over in Iraq online to Senator Reid. You know, he is sending them over there. I mean, he is voting to appropriate funds for them to continue fighting in a war that I don't believe is lost, and I think we need to continue fighting. If he believes it is lost, he has an absolute responsibility to cut off that funding and bring those troops home as soon as possible. 3 months, 6 months, maybe. Not 15 months, which is the appropriations bill that he just supported with this gradual withdrawal. I really think it's a disgrace. And Trent Lott was Senate Majority Leader in December 2002, was forced to resign by a rebellion within his own party because he had praised Strom Thurmond at a 100th birthday dinner for him, and Thurmond had making it seem that the country would have been better off if we had followed segregationist policies back 40 years ago. What Harry Reid said is much more disgraceful than anything Trent Lott said. And I do think Democrats should ask Harry Reid to step down. I'm saying this, of course, is not going to happen. But he is the Senate Majority Leader. He's not some backbencher just spouting off. And he should not be Senate Majority Leader if he's going to say, when we have 150,000 troops fighting over there, that their effort is in vain. It's just a disgrace.
Wait a second. Britt says this is laughable. You say it's a disgrace. I think he simply said the truth. I mean, it's unavoidable. How can you say, watching the kind of carnage that takes place there on a daily basis, that this is not an effort that is misbegotten at this point? Most Americans think we should never have gone in there, so he's speaking in a voice that represents the majority of the American people. Secondly, when he says that it's lost, he's talking about the idea that we need to have a diplomatic, economic, political solution. We're not seeing any political progress in the country. In fact, the al-Maliki government looks to me to be weak and weaker, and getting weaker with the withdrawal of people like al-Sadr's forces from the parliament and from support of his government. So what we have here is a civil war in which Americans are caught in the middle. So the idea of withdrawing, it's not a strategy, as the president said. What Senator Reid is talking about, what most people are talking about, is trying to contain it. I think we have General Petraeus coming here this week, and the Republicans want to make the case that it's Senator Reid and the Democrats versus the troops, that the troops are standing tall and the Democrats aren't supporting them. Or, As Britt said, it's pulling away from fighting al-Qaeda. Wrong, wrong, wrong. What we're doing here is we want to fight al-Qaeda. We want to fight terrorists. We should have gone after them in Afghanistan. Going into this war in Iraq, well, we got rid of Saddam Hussein, but I don't know why we need to be there right now. What is the point?
Fighting al-Qaeda. How about that? You like that idea?
I'd love to fight al-Qaeda, but do you believe that we're really fighting? Are our people dying because of al-Qaeda, or are we dying because of an intramural fight between three sides?
Well, they're connected, Juan, but al-Qaeda is a very major actor in Iraq now. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you look at what we're now seeing from these spectacular. We've done some good here in terms of this terrible violence that was going on among the militias. That has subsided. What we're getting are spectacular terrorist attacks by al-Qaeda in Iraq.
I think you're getting spectacular attacks by Sunnis, by Shiites against each other. We're trying to build walls to try to separate. Why do you think we're building? We're not building walls to separate al-Qaeda out. We're building walls to try to separate one warring faction from another.
What are you doing?
And I think it's just like there's no end in sight to this. Of course we should pull out. Why shouldn't we what are we doing here?
What do we do after we pull out?
What do we have to
decide who we are fighting al-Qaeda? Have you talked to a single person who's fought over there? Have you looked at what do they do each day?
Yeah.
You think they just drive around aimlessly to get blown up randomly by Shia and Sunni? They are fighting al-Qaeda in Iraq. What is happening in Anbar province? What is happening in Fallujah? What are the Marines doing in Ramadi? They're fighting al-Qaeda.
They're trying to stabilize the
They're
environment.
fighting al-Qaeda.
No, they're trying to stabilize an environment so that political progress can take place.
And who's killing them? Whose bullets are killing
both sides
Marines?
of everybody's.
That's not true. Mostly it is al-Qaeda.
Mostly, you don't believe that there's Sunnis involved, there's Shiites involved in killing Americans.
There are some Shiites involved in killing Americans,
Okay, I'm just
but
saying,
al-Qaeda is the main enemy.
We're going to have to leave it there.